Mr. Asajo. Welcome, Mr. Asajo. You're welcome, and we are here listening to you with all our kind attention. Thank you.
Getting me? Are you getting me?
We get to you. We get to you.
Okay. So, but before you plan to go back home, you ask yourself, what have I copied from my Italian peers? When I visited an Italian, or when I went to an Italian family, did I go there just to eat some pasta, to eat some spaghetti, to drink some wine, some vino, champagne, or whatever, and then go back? If you go back because you want to enjoy your academic title or the big titles that you held, that you got in Europe, so you will start facing the realities. When you start facing the realities, maybe you even discover that your academic titles are almost nothing, that they are not helping, that they tend to be papier hygienique when you go back home. So do everything so that your academic title serves or helps your compatriots once you go back home. When you go back home, first of all, it must help you. Then it must help your family, your entourage, your immediate environment, your village where you grew up. Where you grew up, it's very important. So you belong to that community. The entire country, so that you behave in such a way that every Cameroonian and for every community can, in one way or the other, benefit from your long stay or short academic stay in Italy or in a foreign land. That is the most important. That is the most important aspect you ought to take down. Let me tell you something, Blandine and my dear compatriots. I wanted to be a lecturer in a big university in Italy. The time I wanted to register to go to enroll in a doctorate program, then a lecturer from France, she was Madame Vitos. She called me one day. She said, Asajo, I noticed that you are a very intelligent guy. Oh, I am a very intelligent guy. Yes, but Asajo, notice that if one day you are not able to put that intelligence that you have, that knowledge that you have, so that your community can benefit from that, that would be a great loss to your country. That's what that Madame Vito told me. I said, Mama, why? Do something that can help every citizen of your country, of your community and Africa. She told me. So I started, reflecting. And that fortunately helped me to enhance or reinforce the idea I had already implemented in Cameroon by creating ClearUp, through which many of you pass before getting to Italy. I'm proud to talk to Mr. Dr. Arno Faja, who's our prototype, product, a product of ClearUp. I'm so happy. And I'm on top of him, many of you. So you create something. So if you are not prepared, if you are not copied something good or well in Italy, you will start facing the realities in back home. So you avoid that. Let me be more concrete than you can think. You study, let's say, engineering, but an engineer is somebody, an African engineer. Please take note of this. An African engineer cannot see things or foresee things the same way as a European engineer. I would even go beyond and be even a little bit rude to say that Africa does not need engineers. Africa does not need engineers. What do I mean? That before you become an engineer from Africa, make sure you are a great technician. Make sure you are able to solve basic PC problems. Make sure you are able to install or even to make a solar panel to solve energetic problems. That's the basic problems. And from that, beyond that, you can now read big books, get big titles. You come and then you say this, you say that. But it must be based on something. This is not the first time I'm talking about that. This is what the entire diaspora should know. Beware of having a European title and take it back home as a European. If you take the European academic title back home as a European, this is a failure. You won't help anybody. You will be absorbed by this. You will be absorbed by a Cameroonian state. You will chop, I did not even say it, you will chop taxpayers' money and you would end up not giving to normal citizens what they expect from you. That would be a great loss. Now, please, so why
when you get to Italy, another important message is do not try to to protect the village far from home. When you get to a foreign land, you must be spies. Spy them. Spy Italians. Spy Belgians. Spy people from Switzerland. If you are not a spy, you will not bring something back. When I talk of spy, I'm talking in a very positive manner. Be ready to copy. There are two categories of compatriots. Two type of, academicians. Let's call them that way. Those who went to Italy, those who went to Europe, they studied, they were willing to copy something, they copied, and then they went back home. They belong to the category that can construct something back home, that can help normal people. Unfortunately, other categories, they went there, they focused only on study, they juggled between library, campus, and feasting events, that is parties. By the time you graduate, you only have that academic title, and unfortunately, it tends to be useless home. Now, let me go back. If I can talk until tomorrow, I will not even finish. The chapter is so long. Now, let me make proposal to the embassy. The Cameroon embassy in Rome should be aware. It's already doing something, but it has a lot more to do. Mrs. Aike is listening to me, and I know she's a very flexible person. And then the entire staff of the Cameroon embassy in Rome, which I admire. So you are acting as our umbrella, the umbrella of those young people, of those young compatriots who suffer a lot. It is not easy to get an academic title in Italy. So once they conclude, once they come upon their studies, I think the embassy should be even there to say, come back home. Let me show you how to get back home. I would also point out that Mrs. Aike, she promised me that if we have proposal will come, they are ready to receive our proposals. Okay, this is public proposals are made. These are public proposals I'm making. I will go back to them. So they should, first of all, try to solve this problem of statement of equity. The statement of equity of what? Of the diploma that our compatriots they get there in Italy. Declaration d'équivalence. The statement of equity of the diploma they have there. So that our compatriots should not go back here and then be suffering, be going to the Minister of Higher Education, going offices, knocking on offices' door from A to B, from B to C, etc., etc. If the embassy can solve that problem, it will be a very clear signal that, they are giving their hands, and then we catch. There's no problem. And then we are there to make proposals for that. Now, the embassy should also encourage our young compatriots to bring back home any Italian likely to invest. The Cameroon embassy should encourage that, and even issuing distance visa. Why not facilitate mobility? That is helpful and that is very constructive. Maybe I'm not yet. Let me conclude now with the Cameroon government and local people here. So if you want to prepare them get back home, please make sure that you know people. Make sure that you know people here. How the judiciary functions. And every time, if you don't come back home, you will be you behave like you tend to be a foreigner or a stranger. Let's put it that way. You visit home, come back home at least once or twice a year. Once or twice a year until you conclude, to gain the experience, see how the society is evolving. So that by the time you decide to remove your single euro and put back home here, you are making sure that you are not running a very high risk of one day walking around and speaking to yourself without speaking to yourself, or speaking to everybody without speaking to anybody.